1.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ship Chasing, or tonight, Schopp Chasing. It's the Deep End Invitational. I'm Mike Schopp. My partner and I, Adam Krautwurst, at the Deep End, have created this tournament. We're lucky to bring on some of the very best in the business, and it's a ship chasing crew tonight. It's loaded. I'll tell you everything about it once we get started. Should be a fun night. Thanks for watching.
Pat Fryer Helmo.
This is why I'm hot.
Anita Handjob.
Fix your sight.
Jamar. Alpha play chase.
Are you kidding me? Kadarius Toney?
You can't handle the heat.
It looks like we're finally this boys. You're right.
So I was all set to take Patrick Mahomes to make Davis feel like he was going to get shot because he's in the 104, and then Mahomes went 101.
Man. Wish death upon me.
Oh, Davis, he thought he was getting Mahomes. I mean,
Hey, Mike, do you want to explain to people why there's a million quarterbacks going off the board in this draft?
So this is year 5 of the Deep End Invitational, formerly known as the Draft Sharks Invitational. Pete was our first champion, and we have 4 divisions of 12 teams. It is the FFPC RotoViz Triflex format. So you start up to 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, 1 tight end, and then 2 additional flex players, or 3 if you end up with 1 quarterback somehow. Basically, you want as many starters. You know, I think this is a great format because the deeper your team is, the more quality players you have, the better you'll do, unlike some formats which are more top heavy. So that's what we're going for. And Adam, on his behalf, and I are very fortunate that so many stars, if I may, in the fantasy industry have taken part, including especially tonight.
And is this best ball?
It is best ball.
Okay.
It is tight end premium.
Yeah. Is it tight end premium? People don't know.
People don't know. They'll find out.
Just for the audience, you know. Just
for the audience.
May I? Yes?
Yeah, go ahead. I was just going to say, normally we try to get in separate drafts. The ship chasers, we don't want to trip over each other trying to go after the same players. But all your other invitational draft slots were on Thursdays when we have streams. So we just all ended up by necessity in the same Wednesday night draft.
And then I just got really unlucky, I guess.
It happened last year, too. I was in with you guys last year. We didn't do a stream there, but hey, we're thrilled to have you. So may I introduce everybody else in the draft?
Yes, please do.
All right. Team 1 is Scott Connor, Dynasty and Chill, Destination Debbie, 6th in the main event last year with Jay Reed, one of the sharpest guys I know. 2 is Ben. 3 is Pat. 4 is Davis Maddock, who's got 6 other drafts right now that he has to be, with, and that's fine. It makes sense. It's that time of year. 5 is Abib Agbatoba, who won the Fantasy Pros or done the Football Guys Championships at FFPC twice in a row. Not bad. 6 is Dave Hubbard. I think you guys know that name. Longtime stud in the high-stakes space. 7 is Fantasy Mojo, Darren Armani. 8 is Joey Brown, who's won a lot of money at a lot of different sites, including the FFPC. 9 is Pete. 10 is Louis G, who I've been in Vegas with the last few years, drafting main event teams with. Analytics are for the nerds is his podcast. 11 is Jacob. And 12 is Scott Pianowski from Yahoo.
Great crew.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Every draft is different. Adam's goal for this was to make it like the most even position choices you have as early as the first round. So many drafts we do look so much the same. Here, the first night, 6 if not 7 quarterbacks went right from the jump. And then the second draft, which was last Thursday, a little bit less like that. And tonight, the least like that, with Davis taking CeeDee Lamb at 4. That's the earliest. What's the earliest non-quarterback? McCaffrey might have gone that early last week. I'll check, but earliest for Lamb. We've got Pete on the clock, starting with Tyreek Hill, and he goes Tyreek Hill, Garrett Wilson. I'm making sure to service the audio listeners. It's what I do. I mean, I'm in radio, so
Pete,
really,
are you aware of the Superflex draft? Just want to confirm.
Wait, the whole point was Mike was going to host and I was just going to zone out. So I actually haven't been listening to what he said.
How many wide receivers can we start? This is a serious question. It starts 2,
5.
and then there's
5, right?
1 flex, and there's a super flex, or there's 2 flexes.
2 flex and a super flex. So
that's the try.
You can start up to 5 wide receivers.
Wait, but isn't it?
Well, 6.
And that's 5, not including the super flex, right?
Oh, it starts 3 receivers.
right.
Yeah,
Plus
3
2
plus
flex.
2.
Plus the
and a
super
super
flex.
flex.
So you could
Oh,
you
shit.
could fill 6 receiver spots if you had
All
a
right.
week.
Yeah.
If
That's what we're
anybody's
trying
going
to
to
do
do it,
over here, brother.
This is going to be the pissiest piss boys
And
draft.
it's
I've
time
ever
to
seen.
contact your urologist.
but you have the quarterback challenges and you have the tight end thirst that happens in every one of these FFPC drafts. Pat and I did pros versus Joes in the same group, and I know Pat went Pitts at 211. In that, it might have been tight end 5 or even 6. Just how it is on the ends, especially. You feel like you've got to do that pretty early.
For sure.
Yeah, I was torn. I did think about taking Stroud at 9, and I couldn't bring myself to do it there.
Pete starts Tyreek Hill, Garrett Wilson, and Jacob starts CJ Stroud, Justin Jefferson right after that at 11. 3 running backs through the first 21 picks. McCaffrey, Hall, Robinson, no surprise. Pat is up with Hurts. A.J. Brown was taken.
I knew you were going to go Puka. I kind of
Puka.
want to take it.
Oh, we got Pat and Ben side by side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Pat fucking boxing me in every single time down. It's going to be
That
so
sucks
fun.
ass.
Yeah, enjoy your followers that you'll never see.
Right. It's going to be awesome.
That's right. We're allowed to swear. That's right. Ship chasing. Not like my radio life where
Fuck it. I'm
You
just taking Trey
get out.
McBride.
I knew you
There you go,
would.
Ben.
night end 1.
Yeah, Mike, do you want to get it out of your system now that you're not on public airways? You want to say like, fuck shit balls. Oh, that feels so good.
Somewhere that is in me, but it never comes out. I don't know. It could tonight. We'll see. If you piss me off, but I won't be like that because I'm a guest here. Even though I'm a host, I'm a guest.
No, make yourself
A guest
right at
host.
home.
I am at home, actually. Grand Island, New York. I was watching,
Wow.
what was it, last year, Pete, where your flight home from Las Vegas, you landed in Buffalo?
Yeah. Yeah, that was
And
last year. And I was
you were-
like thinking about looking up Leone. I'm like, if I'm going to be stranded in this bum ass town,
Just to
I
be
might as
clear,
well look
Pete,
some people up.
Did you intentionally fly to Buffalo? I know that's been a harder thing for some of us. With flights.
No, that's a Jacob problem. I actually had a ticket
No.
back to Boston.
Pete's flight had to land in Buffalo, and he had Adam Levitan on the stream, and Adam says, there's an airport in Buffalo? Which, that was great to hear. There's an NFL team in Buffalo. I don't know about an airport, but yeah, somehow we make it work. 3 quarterbacks for Scott Connor at the 1. Mahomes, Caleb Williams,
feeling
Trevor
it.
Lawrence.
Ride.
Pressure's on. Oh, and Ben goes Allen,
Let's
McBride,
go.
Kincaid. Pat with Kelsey.
Wow. Laporta getting absolutely disrespected.
Well, I mean, I got Allen. I wanted to take Laporta, but that's why I took McBride. I was like, fuck this. I'm going to do McBride Kincaid.
Another thing about this is in my opinion, it's just tournament enough where the overall winner out of 4 leagues wins a main event ticket next year. The remaining 3 league winners win a Fantasy Pros ticket. So fine, but if you win the overall, that's better. And so you are, it's not best ball mania, but you are competing against 3 other leagues where I think that would make stacking, more important.
Yeah.
Davis is ready to take Xavier Worthy at the 304.
I believe Davis is doing a main event draft right now concurrently with this.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And we are in a slow draft together, but
We
doesn't
can
feel
only
like-
start 2 quarterbacks, correct? I'm just trying to figure out.
Yes.
Scott's one hole. Okay.
Yeah.
He's starving the beast. I'm certainly feeling starved on the other side of the board. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
We're at quarterback, 14, 13 in Lawrence, halfway through round 3. First round goes Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, Lamb, McCaffrey, Brees Hall. Fantasy Mojo takes Lamar Jackson. He's got his play here if he wants it. Joey Brown, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Tyreek Hill to Pete, Anthony Richardson to Louis. Louis never misses Anthony Richardson, which is not a bad thing. Jacob takes Stroud, and then Bijan with then Jamar Chase to Scott Pianowski. Come on, Mojo. Right? We know this one. We don't. I don't. Saquon.
Now this is pretty late for Barkley in this format, right?
Well, I will tell you, in the first draft, he went 311. Or is there an inside joke? In the second draft, he went 210.
Mojo gave us a bunch of crap for not mentioning that Barkley went the latest. I think the latest he'd gone in a draft. So I just enjoy him taking him here.
One of the best inside jokes in fantasy right now, I think, is that Pat doesn't play guitar. I mean, that's a great idea, having guitars. I should have thought of that. Just having guitars behind you.
It's just a cool vibe, right?
It's just the vibe wins. I mean, what's better for somebody to have going on behind, in one of these?
I've been told a lot of things. I've gotten some other suggestions.
Throw some guitars back there. All right, Pete's on the board with Brock Purdy. Is he good?
Yeah, I hope so. I just capitulated to this format you guys got. That makes me draft Brock Purdy in round 3.
I know. I mean, my tight end thing was fun when I did it, but in hindsight, I'm like, I wish I would have taken Caleb or Lawrence at 211 and just gotten the 2 quarterbacks. Pat's going to take anyone that I want. I'm never going to get a quarterback. We're just going 1 quarterback. Fuck it.
This happened to me last year. It was ugly.
There's 2 rainbow starts, right? There's the Pat one, Hurts, Nakua, Kelsey, and then the Lamar, Brown, Barkley. I guess 3. And then the Brees, Jaden, and Laporta.
All right, Pete's up with the 4th round pick. Scott Pianowski, Bijan, Chase, Tua, and Cousins. Jacob goes Stroud, Jefferson, Herbert, and the stack with Nico Collins. And there's Andrews to Lou. I thought for sure Mojo would take Andrews, but I'm not saying he's wrong. And then Kittle to Pete with Purdy. Wow. That was the plan?
Yeah, it was the plan. I was hoping
pick.
a couple. Well, yeah, once I did that, I mean, it was just Pitts as the other pick there, and I'm already committed to pushing this quarterback thing to a devastating conclusion.
Last year, it got.
We ride, dude. We ride.
Last year, it got so bad for me at quarterback, I drafted Aiden O'Connell before it was over. And the long forgotten Malik Cunningham. Just, you got to hope and pray by the end of these if you don't get 2 starters. Who I think is interesting right now is Penix. Because, I mean, the summer's almost over. And has anybody drafted Michael Penix once on Underdog or in, a tournament? Why would you? I'm not talking Dynasty, obviously, but everything sounds so good on him that, I don't know, like maybe he could be live this year.
Yeah, it's either that or the Falcons are like gaslighting us from making him think he's so good. Like, we got to just sit him down for the preseason. Yeah. We can't see him.
Like, I play a decent amount of Dynasty best ball. And like, you usually want ideally 4 quarterbacks, right? And not everybody's going to be able to get 3 starting quarterbacks. So I think for sure in the last rounds, drafting some of the higher upside backups, definitely in play.
You guys are enjoying as much as I am that we are in the middle of the 4th round and there have been 4 running backs drafted.
Yeah.
On brand.
Jameer Gibbs is on the board at 408.
I thought I might bring sort of the right level of boomer to the operation where maybe that would balance things out, but maybe not. I'm actually happy
Mojo
about that.
Knows he's got to swim ahead of the Avalanche here. The Olave pick.
I mean, I'm pumped to take my 3rd tight end here in a minute. If fucking
There you go.
Somebody take Pitts for the love of God.
Hey, you can flex 2 tight ends every week, Ben.
You can.
You definitely can. Round 3. Let's just run through that. I guess maybe I didn't do round 2. I don't need to do all these. I'm not going to. I mean, come on. What do you want to know?
Audio listeners are getting overly serviced.
The audio listeners are falling away.
Overly serviced.
Oh, man.
I can see into my future. I can see into my future, and that future includes needing Justin Fields to start by week 2.
Hey, over under 13.5 the round that you draft Nick Mullins.
God. Yeah, I think we might take like a handcuffing approach to the Minnesota quarterbacks is maybe what we're thinking.
Is Fields anymore even like the number 1 backup?
Yeah, I think he's got to be.
I haven't heard that floated. What are you even floating, Mike? Who would be the number 2 over him?
Well, it wouldn't be Brissett.
What's Waddle's deal? I just drafted him. He's gone now. But somebody was asking me about his health stuff, and I was like, I don't even know.
I think
He has
he's
a calf.
fine.
He had
It's
a
a
calf
compression
injury.
sleeve on his calf.
The injury people don't seem that worried yet.
Right.
Okay.
But I also have like 24% Jalen Waddle. So as soon as I see you don't need to be worried, I stop reading. I just choose to not be worried. So
I know.
Was
I considered him there, but just went for the big swing.
Malik
Yeah,
Neighbors
I mean, I wanted
just
Neighbors,
got the
actually,
Giants to
so.
unretire number one.
I was like, Pat, do Waddle. And then I saw you at
You knew you could see my eyes.
Yeah, I was like, he's got week 6 buys. He's not taking Waddle. God damn it.
Does Malik Washington get drafted?
Yeah.
I literally didn't remember his name. I had to Google him after the first time you mentioned him.
All right. Well, you're back. You got it. You're back. Start around 5. Scott Connor, 3 quarterbacks, and an Ingram to go with Lawrence.
Nice.
I'm feeling bullied.
Man. No wide receivers, no running backs through 4.
4 running backs through 49 picks.
Do you know what's fun to think
This
about
is
right
not
now is
intended.
that Davis is just like multi-tabling, like he's just on his phone, right? Just complete vibes-based ripping in picks right now throughout this draft.
Anything can work.
Not a bad start. CD
Let's
Dak
go
London
DK.
picks.
Let's do a grown-ass man.
Nice.
Still no Jonathan Taylor going.
There it is.
Oh,
There's
I wasn't ready for it, but there
It's
it
a free
is.
roll. It is
Go
a
get
free
your
roll.
guy.
Coming at all.
Get your guy season. Pat, does it feel weird to take Drake May to set up Polk instead of vice versa?
No, it feels great. It feels better.
Wait,
yeah.
so that took 2 seconds. Were you running the clock down on the Neighbors pick for Waddle or for you were trying to figure out if I was
No.
May?
I knew I was like, I can't take May over Waddle or Neighbors. Like that's too high a wide receiver caliber. I can take him over like Adams. Or
It wasn't
whatever.
figured if he'd come back. It was
Adams
figuring
is
what was too high
Mike
to
Evans.
justify taking it.
Ben sniping Pat on Drake May would have been tremendous content.
I thought you were going to do it. I actually thought you were going to do it.
After this entire summer of every stream that either of us does
really
with
would've
Ben,
been
just
good.
getting subject to constant FUD on Drake May, I would have
I
liked
Shout out to
messaged
Crack
Matt
Rock.
recently because I started taking a lot of Polk to set up May, and then I was putting May in my queue every time after I took Polk, and I've timed out May in like the 135, 140 range, I think 3 times now. So I'm going to have the lowest average draft position of Drake May of anyone in the whole contest.
What is
I'm
the
going to have
right?
plenty of Drake May, and I'm going to look so bullish. I'm going to be taking him pick 150 on average.
After everything you guys have talked about all summer, tomorrow they announce it. What is the over-under, the right over-under on when he goes in? Is it week 1? No, it would be like what?
It's
4?
week 1, I think now.
It
Has to be.
Shout out to Crack Rock, who, he's kind of the Sex Panther of insiders, where it's sort of 60% of the time it works every time. But he has, and we're doing a draft with him tomorrow, main event tomorrow. But he has said he's gotten word that Drake May is going to be announced as starter tomorrow. So,
wow.
Hell yeah.
that's why you just take him in the 5th.
Oh,
and
man.
mess around.
Before
You don't
he
let
drops
Pete.
that bombshell.
Yeah.
He's the
I
Sex
also-
Panther of Adam Schefter's of someone else.
Yeah, he's a Sex Panther. He's the Sex Panther of Adam Schefter's.
Yeah,
No, he has to be a third one.
Oh yeah.
I'm not smart enough to know how to do those.
I just want to say one other thing about Davis snap picking Bo Nix after Pat took Drake May has the same energy as naming his puppy Murphy after Pat named his Murphy. It's just like, oh, rookie quarterback. No. I have permission.
The grade has reached new heights, man.
Jacob, I've been this is the perfect time. I literally had this question to myself. I said to myself today, I need to talk someone from Big Brock Bowers Industrial Complex and have them talk me off the ledge with Brock still not practicing with this foot injury. Will you talk me off the ledge?
That sign would worry me if I could read, but I see injury updates that say things like Brock Bowers isn't practicing, and I go, next page.
This is a lawyer.
Yeah, you got to read the fine print, Jacob.
I have no interest in that type of information.
Next page.
I also don't have interest in information that says Brandon Ayuk won't be playing this year because we just added it to the team too. But so we're
What are
playing
they
for
saying
first
now?
48.
He's supposed to be in the locker room, or in the training room, but not.
They expected him to practice, which was good, but then he didn't practice, so that was bad.
That's bad.
That sounds really bad. That combination is not
That doesn't
good.
sound ideal at all. Actually.
They expect him not to practice. He doesn't practice. Maybe that's fine.
The good news is they wanted him to practice. The bad news is he isn't doing it.
He didn't do it.
Pete with 2 stacks, Rodgers and Garrett Wilson with Purdy and Kittle. No accident. No coincidence.
I was sweating the quarterbacks there for a while, but I'm feeling fine now.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. So on my WGR Buffalo show today, I mean, I know why this does make some sense. There are 50 quarterbacks who have thrown for 300 yards in a game since he last did, including PJ Walker,
Is that right?
Tyrod Taylor, Justin Fields. I mean, several guys you wouldn't remember. Well, you guys would have 3 or more. I mean, okay, he missed a season and played another season hurt, but it's been a while.
Wow.
Sorry, Pete. Was that seem personal after you picked him? I didn't mean it like
Yeah,
that.
no. It's is there anything else bad you want to say about my
It
picks?
doesn't seem not personal.
No, it didn't. I'm in Buffalo, but I mean, the Jets have blown past the Bills as the AFC East favorite for whatever reason. However the hype machine works, Rodgers isn't hurt again yet or something. They have, a top 5 position unit kind of everywhere. So it does make some sense, but it's been hard to swallow here.
I wanted Diggs. That wasn't very nice.
No, you didn't.
A lot of
I'm
us
sorry.
taking him as my double.
I wanted Puka, Neighbors, and Diggs. It's been really fun being on this side of you so far.
You could just ask.
Yeah, next time I'm just gonna say, pretty please, can I have this player?
Just put it out there who you want. Maybe you guys know each other so well that he would know who you want. That's probably what's happening. But just show your cards. You're in your heads up poker. I got a pair of
you guys been
nines.
sniped on Worthy. I would have bet at
I would've
minus
thought Davis
300
was
that one
gonna
of the
take
4
him
people
there.
on this stream or Davis could Xavier Worthy.
I was going to take Mahomes too, but part of what I was thinking about was if I did, Davis would take Xavier Worthy way too early and it wouldn't come to me. But the Mahomes drafter gets Worthy.
I think I know his next pick too. But I don't want to. I can't say
mine?
it, right?
Producer, play many.
Scott.
Worthy's off the board.
His is
I was
Zay.
wrong.
Can you guess mine? I think mine's obvious.
Is there a tight end available?
No, I can't.
I don't know yours.
Yeah, I guess it would be the.
Gino.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, Gino.
I played Mike
Gino.
Gino, yeah. I didn't. I
Well,
kinda
you've just
wanted
written
Gino,
so fondly about Will Levis all year. I thought maybe that was your preferred.
You wanted
quarterback.
Gino, Pat?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not going to guess that. I'm not gonna
I
give
was
you
like,
any ideas.
I figured you would take one quarterback, and there's enough where I was like, I'll get.
Oh, and he
somebody.
stacked it up too. All right, yeah. That was
Yeah.
probably-
Hey, Mike, I can't help but notice a certain faller. Do you guys, does this league have punt return yards available?
I don't know the FFPC rule on that. Whatever it is what we would have. I think don't you get the touchdowns?
I'm just not
Not
really
yards.
counting on Kyron ripping off too many 60-yard house calls on punts, so I need the yards.
Dude,
I think you get the touchdowns.
What are your guys' serious takes on this? Because I think it's like he got asked about a punt returner, and he was like, "Yeah, we cut that guy. We're gonna have Kyron return him." Like, I mean, is he really gonna be the punt returner in week 8, or is he just gonna stand back there? Even if he takes him, is he gonna stand back there and fair catch a couple?
Yeah,
times?
that's what he's gonna do. Like that's Cooper Kupp used to do that all the time, where the job is like McVay just values a good set of hands to go back there and catch some punts.
And
I
Did
don't
you guys
think
see
he's
that
gonna do
Jordan
it.
Rodriguez tweet though?
I've been enjoying
Yeah.
it because I've been out on Kyron all year, so I've been using this to my advantage, but I don't think it matters that much. Like my expectation of the backfield's the same as it was.
I didn't see the
which I think
Rodriguez
is a rotation.
tweet. What do we have there?
So Emo Cowboy tweeted at her, and
Oh, that I saw that.
yeah.
Is that someone you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
For the audio listeners, he said, "I'm trying to read between the lines here, and it sounds like more of a split, and Kyron filling in punt return, while Corum takes more away than just a drive every now and then." And she said, "That's my gut instinct."
Yeah.
I don't think it changes anything.
I mean, that was already kind of what I thought, but
I mean, even
we'll
her
see. I mean-
reply, she's like saying it's her gut. I mean, she's
Yeah,
great.
but she's
She does an
pretty
incredible
dialed
job.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's.
So I don't know. To me, I'm like,
But I'm saying the way she framed it is she was like, I'm not confident. I'm saying it as this might. That's how I.
yeah. But
read
if
it,
if that's possible, then he's like a 6th round type of value. I mean, like he's very overdrafted if that's on the table.
Is there really a good reason why they would do that?
I mean, well, I'll make the case because I've been making this case all year, and I'm not saying that it's more likely to be right now than it was 3 days ago. I don't think this moves it that much, but I just think that all the Sean McVay uses one guy stuff. To me, that's all a case for he uses one guy on one drive, so they don't substitute, and you just have somebody who can play on all 3 downs to accomplish that. I think Corum does that. I think Kyron's undersized. I think that they made this pick, to me, and it's a read. It could be a wrong read, but my read is they made this pick because they want to keep Kyron upright, so they've cloned him to play on every 3rd drive. That's my expectation is we see 2 drives Kyron, 1 drive Corum open, and something maybe more 3-2 if Corum plays really well over the course of the season. But I disagree with the round 6 part. Like, I think Kyron's been overpriced as a round 2-3 pick, but like, I don't know. Even if I was right, I would still take him in like the 4th for sure if he starts falling on this.
I just fail to see why that. I mean, why the Rams would just like basically all but replace him on any sort of significant level after what happened last year. I mean, so many people were against him as a prospect, but they went to the playoffs. He did everything for them. Would they really go into the season after that and just like, all right, you're going to play, half as much and return punts? I feel like they would look at last year as successful.
I mean, the same reason a ton of players like McVay is really one of the only coaches that's played running backs on like 90% of snaps. Like, I think there's a lot of talented running backs in Kyron who don't play 80+% snaps, right? Like Jahmyr Gibbs is going to play 80+% snaps.
There's room for him to come back from the 90 and still have a really strong workload. You can also read the Corum thing as a huge rubber stamp on Kyron, that they really liked him. They changed their whole offense. They changed their whole running game to that shotgun run scheme because of him. And then they drafted a backup that was his clone because they like Kyron. Like they didn't draft a replacement that does something different. They drafted so that they can continue to use Kyron the way that they've used Kyron and use another guy the same way that they've used Kyron. And I'm with you, Schopp. Like, they like him. Like, he's the incumbent. Like, he does all the little things. They love him. They've talked about all the reasons they love him. McVay, like, Coach Speak Index had some comments after that he thought people were reading into it wrong. Then he also shared some stuff from early in the offseason. He's like, there's so many quotes like this of McVay talking about Kyron this favorably. I mean,
what I know is this. 2 years ago, next week, we were all in Las Vegas. I don't know if Jacob was there. I didn't know Jacob, but most of us were in Las Vegas.
He was in Los Angeles.
Okay. It was the season opener, Bills-Rams. I hosted the Bills Network pregame show from my room at the Planet Hollywood and then went to the party with the bare knuckle after the game. And I had been drafting Kyron Williams, and he got hurt on the opening kickoff of the season in that game. And my first reaction to the 2022 NFL season was great. Like I haven't even gotten to a play from scrimmage yet. And a guy, I mean, I wasn't all in or anything, but he was kind of interesting the Rams had won the Super Bowl the year before. Like, okay, it was Darrell Henderson's season that year. Like, all right, well, who's actually good? Akers ends up in that game playing like 2 snaps and then he's sent home. Yeah, anything can happen there, right? So I thought Williams actually, well, this happens to all of us, sort of like the idea. And then the opening kickoff, that's it.
Yeah, and I would still probably take over like Josh Jacobs. So I guess like 5th round underdog is really more where I'm saying. But I think one of the things for Kyron, his targets per route run last year, including the playoffs, was 14%. He gets a lot of routes and he gets used a lot just overall. But to me, it's a sort of a fragile play where it's very volume dependent. Like, he's not an explosive runner. He's not a very explosive pass catcher. He's just like a solid, super solid chunk play runner and great at the goal line. But he is undersized, and he dealt with injuries last year and the year before, as you're mentioning. And they've talked about the need to lighten the workload. So I'm nervous that the workload does get lightened in exactly the way Jacob was saying, where they're rotating drives, because Corum is also that kind of back where you can just leave him out there all the time.
Is this what? Who's in the 6th hole? I was going to take Kenneth Walker.
Hubbard.
Oh, that's Hubbard. He's got Brees, Gibbs, Etienne, and Walker, and didn't even give up. Like, still took a different 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round pick. Like, still has an elite tight end. Still has Jane Daniels. Still has Debo. But he gets Gibbs in the 5th. He just got Ken Walker in the 8th round. I was going to finally take a running back.
If it makes you feel better, his QB3 is going to be Sam Howell.
It's not going to be Fields, who went with the next pick.
I was gonna take Fields on this turn.
Oh man. Yeah, I wait till the 8th round to draft my first running back. I was still second of the people on the stream to select a running back.
I was also gonna go with
Wow.
JSN there, Davis.
This is incredible. I have to let Ben pick before I say it.
Yeah, Davis had no interest in giving you your double stack.
I know. I wanted him, and then I wanted Fields on the way back. It was going to be so fun. Or Kenneth Walker. That little run there wasn't very cool. I got to take one of the Bears receivers if that's what's incredible, that he's going to end up with DJ Moore and both Adunze and Keenan. It's just a question of whether I actually take Adunze over Keenan. I mean, you can't just let fat Keenan stay out there forever, guys.
What about that hat behind you? What happened to that? Doesn't that mean anything?
It does. It does.
I mean, I'm not in shape for bare knuckle because I thought Scott would take Odunze at 7-1. That was my guess, was he was going to do that at 7-1. He gets him at 8-12.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. I botched that too. I dropped the ball there.
Ow, and he takes Brian Thomas. All right.
Yeah, that is kind of fun at the
There goes all the interesting receivers.
It's the Deep End Invitational on ship chasing, August 28th. Thanks to everybody, Pete, Pat, Ben, Jacob for being a part of it. Davis Maddock too, who's not with us, but it's a fun tournament. We're on the Deep End FF1 stream tomorrow night again for League 4. Adam Krautwurst, who designed this tournament, my co-host there, will be in tomorrow's game with some other big names. You guys will be doing your thing on this show, so I shouldn't promote against you.
You can. Let the market decide, Scott. Just kidding. Ben, what's the QB3 plan over in your neck of the woods?
I gave up after Fields. What am I going to say? Gardner Minshew? Like
I've heard good things about Russell Wilson. Week 1
there's
starter,
31
man.
QBs that have gone. I had Minshew or Russ were my options, and I said, fuck it. I'm going 2. I got 2 great tight ends. Let's just roll with it.
Yes, Davis isn't with us. Sounds like he died from not getting worse.
Davis isn't with us is not the same as Davis is no longer with us.
Well,
there's,
he's no
there's an
longer
important
with us.
distinction there. I have had so much fun all summer listening to you guys and watching as much as I can consume. I can't believe how much you guys do. I mean, you make fun of the 2-hour ADP chasing marathons and 2.5 hours and all the different, I mean, every day there's so much. I don't
get a lot done on Mondays, Mike.
Monday? No, that's
Monday's ADP chasing day. Basically,
yeah, right. I mean, and I can't wait for it. I'm on the air in Buffalo 3 to 7, but the next morning is when I listen to that show. And like I am at 150 underdog drafts, and I feel like a joke compared to the guys I watch and listen to. Like, what's 150? I mean, I'm Charlie Bucket in Willy Wonka, where the kids are all shouting out how many Wonka bars they bought. 200, and he bought 2 Wonka bars. Like, I don't know. I'm doing my best.
Well, he won though, didn't he?
He won. That's right. He won, and it wasn't even one of the 2 bars. It was what he found in the street, or a third one. Anyway, trivia.
Someone commented on my video because I posted a draft I did with Sacrilegious on the Deposit Kingdom channel, and he was talking about how he had done over 2,000 drafts, which I of course put in the title. And someone commented he's far too skinny for having done 2,000 drafts.
I mean, you guys were talking, Pat, with Davis about doing what his number was 91 auto slow puppies.
Yeah.
And just so you part your rankings and just set it on auto. Then he forgot to change it back with the Geno Smith
right
Lions fullback
Mike,
gate.
Can I get back in your Homer good graces with this selection here, despite my AFC East blasphemy at the start?
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Keon
I know
Coleman.
you want Ladd for your stack. I saw that.
Not just for my stack, but I was because I listened to you guys 2 weeks ago and I really enjoyed the Herbert Ladd discussion. And I was like, if after all the slander that Pete put on these Chargers, if he steals my Ladd McConkey stack, I'm going to be so pissed off.
You lost anyway.
Oh no.
That's what getting shot feels like.
Yeah.
I am officially on tilt.
That reference I know.
Joshua Paul still there, bud?
Oh God. What am I going to fucking take? Alvin Kamara? What the fuck is this? Oh. Oh my God. This is disgusting.
That's kind of, I don't know if Louis meant to do that, but I know Louis and he probably did.
Oh man,
I think he did. I think he's giggling right now.
Yeah.
I'm
His own
scrolling down, but it's
podcast.
not making it any better.
His own podcast is doing a post-game show on this one later, so you have that to follow up. I usually watch you guys when mine's over. I don't know if I'll do that tonight.
Oh God, that
That's
didn't
brutal,
feel
man.
good.
Stack, double.
Get
Minnesota.
ready to learn Brendan Rice, buddy.
Jacob,
Dave-
if
when
you can
Davis
sneak
takes
this
Brendan
team into
Rice,
the
then
finals,
yes.
it'll really make some noise this year.
There we go. Well, we do have the Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison double stack for anyone keeping track of them.
Yeah.
I'll be adding Nick Mullins in the 20s.
I thought about McConkey for my Week 17 bring back on May, but I just decided to
Nice.
do a normal stack with Hurts.
This is a total points league, correct?
It's total.
Do I
Yes.
not know the format? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Ben, that shootout could help.
It could help at the end. Yeah.
You never know. You never
It's
know.
year 5. Pete won the first year. Chad Schroeder won the second. Then it was John Scuderi who beat me by a nose. I finished second to him. Chig Okonkwo almost got me there from the last round in 2022. Then last year, Go Bills ran away with it. Imagine that.
Yeah.
My secret sauce in year 1 was it was either last round or second to last round Mike Davis pick the year he was just a sleeper smash, and that like carried my 0 RB room and made it all work.
You know, one thing I wanted to ask you guys, and I don't know if this is even possible. There still is a week to go. Can you think of a player you have literally 0 shares of that maybe you're thinking will still come to life, and you know maybe you're going to act on it in the next few days, or it scares you?
Yeah, Kyron Williams.
Well, I was thinking someone more
Give me
obscure,
that
but
discount,
okay.
please. Give me some round 4 Kyron.
How about somebody? What I mean is somebody that nobody has a share of, or almost
Oh, I
nobody.
see. I see.
Oh,
James
David, I got you.
Robinson, his first
Oh,
his
gotcha,
rookie year,
gotcha.
like that. Because now,
How
I mean, the
about,
last couple of days has given us a lot of new information.
Yeah, how
Maybe
about like
there
an
is.
Emmanuel Wilson
Samaje?
type? You know,
Yeah, all right, right.
what is okay? I
Samaje is
know
the guy
Noah.
where he's got to collect, right?
I just
don't
wrote
know what
a
Rashad White, but okay.
there it is, Rashad White. I just wrote a team by team breakdown of all the 53-man cutdowns and claims and everything, and there was probably like 12 guys in there that answer your question. Show
Mhm.
they're like,
Yeah,
I
so
mean, just
read
like
the article.
yeah,
Yeah.
what the hell? The first name that came to mind was Ryan Flournoy, who I think they only kept like 5 receivers,
That's a good one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
but he made the team.
He
No,
was
like-
somebody. He was somebody in Buffalo. We are so obsessed with receivers and just like the incredible reality that the Bills receiver room has gone from what it was to like now it seems like a bit. And so before the draft, this is the year, of course, like let's draft 2. We've got everybody sort of getting together. Like let's draft 2. We're talking about Brendan Rice. We're talking about Flournoy. We were hot for Troy Franklin. I mean, all those Javon Baker, all those guys got, we spent days on it. And Coleman, somebody dropped something.
I'm just messing around with the
The pick, you dropped the guitar pick. You're just getting
No,
ready
it's
for.
a clothespin.
It's a special pick for the Jacquard guitars that requires a clothespin.
Why would you be holding a clothespin?
Because it's here and I have ADD. So I'm just, doing this a lot.
Is it's your version of like
Because
clicking
it
a
was
pen?
near me.
Is that your version of clicking a pen like I do? Just sort of.
Yeah. I do have a pick though. I can go to the pick, fiddle with the pick.
What I was trying to say about that article is it just published, so no one should have read it yet. But if anyone's interested in that kind of a play or those kinds of thoughts, it's a long article. Go check it out. I was trying to tease it. It's a great tease.
Mine is. I started drafting Cedric Tillman.
Really?
Oh, I added him on a team last night for the
That's an
first
interesting
time, I
one.
think.
I mean, it's. I've had a hard time this summer getting it right with the Browns. And when you start with the Dolphins, you can get, if you're on the end, it can be sort of difficult. Somebody gets there early on Watson, and the running backs are not exciting. I end up in a couple drafts at the end of draft wanting to have a Browns piece, and even Elijah Moore is basically totally undrafted. That's this summer. That's interesting too. But feel like there's a little bit of hope, maybe more hope.
Damn
with
it!
Tillman.
I just got shot.
Jameson?
I fucking knew you were gonna do it again, but I
didn't
just
ask.
really wanted you to not fucking do it again.
Russell Wilson's starting to look pretty good here, though.
God
Man.
damn it, he is, isn't he?
Oh boy. Hey, total points, Ben. You get those first 7 starts
I
out of
mean-
Russ. They're no different than the last 10.
Wicks was my backup plan.
I love
He's
that
already
you only
off.
gave him 7 of the 10.
I guess I'm
There-
taking fucking Jerry.
Well, I
Jeudy
thought
at
that
this
was like a
point.
hard maximum, but I don't know.
There are 4 teams with only 2 quarterbacks with the draft half over, and 32 have gone. So, Michael Penix, it's your night.
It's a very on brand for this draft that Russell Wilson was announced as the starting quarterback today. That it's not playoffs. Like, it doesn't matter when the starts are. They're just however many you get. And we have drafted Justin Fields in the 8th. No interest in Russell Wilson in the 11th.
Samuel with Allen, then.
Yeah, I decided I probably should have taken Keon, who I let go back to Pete, but had to at least get Samuel. Yeah,
He'll be interesting
Khalil,
here.
Great
They're talking
pick,
about,
Pat.
you know, a more of a gadget type role, like he always seems to get put on. Had a turf toe injury in the second preseason week before that game, but you know it's so far away from week 1 they can say week to week, and it still might mean he plays week 1. So I'm not too worried about him for opening day.
yeah. Got to get wide receiver depth in this format.
Jake, are you still out on Jameson?
You have it.
Yeah,
You have it.
I very, very comfortably out on Jameson Williams.
Even at this price, would you entertain this price or not?
I was very strongly debating Wicks over Javonte Williams. Wasn't considering Jameson Williams, but I mean I get the appeal. Like I totally at this price, I understand it. It's just I don't know, tough for me to be super.
Yeah, I mean
I
the
guess-
next receivers on the board were Curtis Samuel and Joshua Palmer. Like, I mean, at that
Yeah.
point,
Wide
Yeah,
receiver
Joshua
52.
Palmer's starting to
Running
look pretty good for Jacob.
I mean,
I can tell.
yeah.
No,
got
he's
eyes for
gone,
Joshua
dude.
Palmer.
He
Oh, he
left
is?
in the
Oh, yeah.
11th.
he went.
I'm waiting
Oh,
on
no.
Brendan Rice and Hayden Hurst.
Somebody capitulated on Russ. I'm going 2
The Char-
QB.
The Chargers
MVP
traded for
too.
Taylor Heineke today, I believe.
This is actually crazy.
Yeah, I saw that.
How bad the wide receiver situation is here. Like I think I just gotta start loading up on the RBs. I was like debating taking Jalen Polk, but I was like, I don't know if I can just take Jalen Polk over DeAndre Swift with 2 flex spots. Seems bad, but
I have not been worried about his summer poll.
You do start 3 receivers and 2 flexes, so
it's true.
good
Like,
luck.
Pat, for all
Jordan
the-
Addison's probably going to miss multiple games in season. Just, I mean,
That's correct.
Pat, for
You're
all
in a
the
tough spot.
Patriots, the time you spent on the Patriots, I mean, good and bad, I guess, with the preseason. May came on. Where do you end up?
Erect? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, Polk was playing with the twos a lot,
Yeah.
right? So some people
No, I
took
think
that as
Polk-
a bad sign, but I didn't.
I don't take that as a bad sign in the sense that he did get plenty of work with the ones and is in position to kind of become a key part of the offense pretty quickly into his rookie season. So, you know, some guys I'm definitely nervous about after like really quiet summers, but Polk didn't have a really quiet summer. He just like didn't establish himself as a clear-cut starter in training camp as a rookie, which is fine. That would be great if he did, but you know, he's behind KJ Osborne. Tyquan Thornton was getting reps with the one. Like this dude's gonna be out there a lot.
I mean,
If he's
didn't
good-
Polk
if he's
get a bunch
good,
of reps
he'll
with
play.
the ones. Didn't he get a ton of reps with the ones in the last preseason game?
Yeah, that's the other. Yeah, it's just that he's not a clear-cut starter. It's not that he's not getting work with the ones. With all these rookies, the bet is that they're better than people realize, and if he is better than we realize, then he's got a super clear runway. Plus, upside if May's good.
Hey, Mike, we got some more Johnny come latelys here wondering about what scoring settings are causing the chaos they're seeing on this board. So can you give a rundown again here for people?
Of course. RotoViz, FFPC, RotoViz, Triflex. This is their dynasty format. when we brought the tournament, the Deep End Invitational, over to FFPC, this matched as close as there was to, what we wanted. Adam Krautwurst invented it, where you have tight end premium, Superflex, but then 3 receivers and Triflex. So up to 5 or even 6 wide receivers theoretically. So you really do. I mean, you guys might disagree, but the way we talk about it is you put drafters into, the crucible right away with what position they want to go with, because there's an argument for everything in this format. So you see, this will be 4 drafts, the 4th being tomorrow night. You see all kinds of different approaches to it. This one, naturally, was heavy wide receiver. We had running back 5 go at pick 54. And, okay. So when I drafted last week, I'm just trying to figure out what everybody else is doing and do something else. And that, might have gone okay. But that explains it, I hope.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. All summer we've been doing the best ball content of oh my God, look at how crazy late these running backs are going compared to these wide receivers. And then we beat that by about 3 rounds with the current running back wide receiver pricing in this draft.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's the double whammy, right? It's the super flex element, the tight end premium, and then being able to start 3 wide receivers, or the 1x
Having to
extra.
start 3 wide receivers.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it just massively devalues running backs in this format.
Maybe next year we throw in a 0.1 per carry or first down points or something like that to make it even more, even.
Please don't. No, this is nice.
You can start 4 running backs every week.
Fine.
You can start 5.
Yeah.
I was trying to add
Ben.
Blake Corum to the queue, and I was like, what is wrong with this app? And Ben had already drafted him.
I was torn because I had Conklin in my queue, thinking get that stack with Rodgers, and I was like, is this running back room going to push him? And that did not happen.
Corum did go after you, Pat.
No, I know. After I took White, I tried to put Corum in the queue for my next pick.
Oh, I see, for the next pick.
Yeah.
Is Team 1 not killing it?
Scott has, I don't know if he has the best team, but unequivocally the most aesthetically pleasing team.
It's very
Colors,
aesthetically pleasing.
It's incredible.
Yes.
That's a nice pick there, Ben.
Yeah, very nice pick.
Going for that wide receiver depth. Josh Downs. When is he back, Jacob? That's your team.
Yep. Not practicing today, so I would say, I don't know. I would say it's like 20 to 30% chance he plays week 1 is probably my read on it. I would say probably about 50% he's week 2, and probably the latest comes back to week 3.
There was a lot of back and forth on whether how Richardson did this summer was a bad sign or not. I'm fine. I don't know. How do you feel as a fan?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because I think sometimes I try to give Richardson analysis, and then some people think I'm just like caping. So I try to.
That's what I accused you of when you came on my show. I was like, God, this guy's just a fucking Colts fan.
Absolutely. I think it's been so the first preseason game he played, he barely played, but it was quite bad. The most recent one against the Bengals, I think a lot of people have made a lot of noise about the interception that I don't think was his fault. Like I think it was pretty clearly Kylan Granson kind of signals to the inside on an option route, which is where you're supposed to then be on the inside, and then he like swerves him. Richardson throws it right to where he should have been. The fumble was bad. The overthrow was going to happen, but like some of the stuff was really fun, man. I mean, he throws a jump pass on the touchdown pass, has some great seams to Pierce, to Granson. Ben had a lot of great notes on all of the RPO play action stuff that they were running to make life really, really easy on him. Steichen is fantastic. Like I would stand by 100%. I think that they have one of the 5 best offensive play callers in the league. I think he's going to continue to put him in positions to succeed. And the most exciting part for me is like, I think Mitchell showed a lot of twitch so far early in camp. He's been earning a lot of targets when he's been on the field. I think that if he can come along and then when they get Downs back, then potentially have 3 really strong weapons. So I've cooled a little bit from my early rank of Richardson, but mostly because Ben shamed me into it, but still
of everyone else. I mean, I'm getting Richardson. I've got some BBMs that I'm finishing up, and he is dropping to me in the mid to late 6th, like regularly. Yeah, I'm smashing him there. I mean, I think he's so easily stackable with Mitchell and Downs later. Honestly, the only reason I don't like it is because he has a week 14 bye, and it makes it harder for me to draft man.
Right. That's true. But if once he falls to the 7th though, then
Yeah.
you can really justify the 3 quarterback build with him in May, and that's how you get there.
Trust me, I've done it.
I know you're picking here, but I want to know if you think just is Granson
I am
live?
I think the best answer to Colts tight end is usually a hard pass on Colts tight end.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe your boy Mo Alley's gonna actually make the roster and get paid a shit ton of money.
Dude, the Colts like weird freaking obsession with this Mo Alley Cox guy is like so debilitating because they're just so committed to having Mo Alley Cox be a part of their team, but he's such a useless player that like all they can do then is just have him play 30% of the snaps doing nothing. And the crazy thing about the Colts, people think that they run a lot of 12 personnel because they have 80 million tight ends. They don't. They had the 3rd highest 11 personnel rate on dropbacks last year in the NFL. They just rotate 4 tight ends equally to play the same position in 11 personnel. They don't actually play 2 of them at once. It's just a revolving door of useless tight ends.
And then early this offseason, you were telling me that how Mo Alley Cox had like 6 or 8 million or whatever non-guaranteed, and seemed like you get
today by moving on. And they've decided, nope. Don't need to sign.
They're going to guarantee it.
For like, they could have signed Jonathan Simmons for the same amount of money as it would have cost them to cut Mo Alley Cox. And this team has like no viable starting safety. And they could have had like one of the 10 best safeties in the league. And instead they need a 27% snap share of Mo Alley fucking Cox. It's ridiculous.
That's an exact snap share.
You know, Pete, a host is only as good as his guests. Right. I mean, let's be real here. You tee up Kylan Granson. Look what you get sometimes.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
There we
if
go.
you go to Over the Gap and you look at their team salary, like we did this, me and Jacob one time, like after a show, and like Mo Alley Cox is making like the 5th most money on their team. Like it's like 10th, but like it's not a small amount of money. Like they're paying Mo Alley Cox a shit ton of money, and it wasn't guaranteed. They could have cut him at any point.
Ursay.
Keeping him.
That's so good.
Pat, I have another name for a 0 shares possible, non-zero player. Abanikanda.
I mean, if they have 6 injuries in that backfield, I do think he's alive.
Did he?
He did make it.
I'm out of the loop. Did he make the roster?
He made the roster.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even check. I thought that was like a total fait accompli that they wanted nothing to do with him. That's interesting.
I mean, these are both guys, Tillman and Abanikanda, that some of us liked, and they just sort of drew bad, in the draft and I don't know, other circumstances, but they are just in their 2nd year. So I don't feel like they should be completely ignored.
I took a ton of Abanikanda in the big board before the draft, and yeah, I was like, he's locked in number 2. This is great. But it looked to me, I wonder what happened to where he made the roster, because it looked like a foregone conclusion that he was done. Like in July, it looked like he was going to get cut. Yeah. So I'm not sure what happened. I was hoping there was enough Dalvin Cook fear in the market that Dowdle would get back to me, but Pete sniped him.
Sorry, brother. It was funny. I posted that video with Sacrilegious, and his player target at the top was Rico Dowdle, and like half the comments are like, "Oh, this aged poorly, man. Dalvin Cook's side." I was like, there are a lot of Dalvin Cook fans out there.
Pat, who's your most drafted running back going to be next year? Because then I can tell everybody where Dalvin Cook is going to sign. It's an annual tradition.
It is an annual tradition. It's a tradition that I love, by the way. This dude, so he didn't log enough carries to. Hang on, figure this out.
I'll throw in while Pat is thinking here that one thing I love about Breece Hall's season last year. I mean, the whole discourse is about how last year's discourse anyway. Into the season, he'll show how good he is once he's fully healthy. He had literally the longest run of the NFL season in week 1.
Wow.
Right. I should know by now not to talk when Ben is about to get sniped. But in the Monday night opener against Buffalo, he had an 83-yard run and didn't score. That was the longest run the whole season in the league. Breece Hall.
Some might say Pat is stealing signals right now.
You fucking asshole. I knew this was going to suck with Pat on the inside of me. I did not realize it was going to suck even worse. Pause. I mean, this is the fucking Oh god, this sucks hard. Want to just complete the analogy? Really wanted Jaleel McLaughlin there. That would have been an exciting pick.
Gus Edwards still there. Gretch, he actually makes sense on this build. Could have some nice week
Yeah,
one running back
Week
points.
one.
When in doubt, just take Bucky Irving.
Bucky.
Wow, I'm shocked. Didn't see that one coming.
I honestly didn't have a backup plan, so Bucky Irving.
Can I tell you who I thought you were going to take, Gretch?
Who?
I thought you would take Zach Charbonnet on your Geno team.
You know, that's not a bad call, and I do have him in my queue, but I've moved him down my ranks a little bit. We'll talk about that in a sec, because maybe I should take him. He is stacked up. I'm going to take him if Scott doesn't take him.
You know Scott's going green, or he could start a new positional run.
I have another
No,
player I
he's
like
gotta
for him,
stay
but
green.
I'm just sort of enjoying his team. Mahomes at 1.
I was stoked to get Jaleel McLaughlin there. I almost took him at Downs, and I was like, dude, he's way low in this in ADP. I can maybe get him next round. Literally the whole way down and back, I'm like, Jaleel's still there, Jaleel's still there, Jaleel's still there. And
He was my
fucking
second
Pat's up,
choice. I was debating
running
him
the
and
clock
Gabe back
down,
forth.
and I'm like, he's going. He's not gonna, but he's gonna. He's definitely, but he's not gonna. And then he fucking took him.
Pat was nice to let me get through about 83% of my Brees Hall.
Yeah, I was
week one
trying to let
start.
Shope tell his Brees All Star. I didn't want to. I mean, there's Brees Hall hype happening. I didn't want to ruin it.
So Chuba was another dude I was thinking about taking here.
Good pick.
Man, you're really down on Sharps.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take him, but I'm pretty concerned about him, honestly.
I
So,
don't know.
the
Chuba
case
is
on
not a
Sharps,
great
and
pick
we-
in this format.
We talked about it early on in the summer, was like you get this new coaching staff and the potential that they're actually going to use Sharps a decent amount. He's got size, he's got a 3-down profile, but as a prospect, there's nothing really special. So it's kind of like, he's got that, but not necessarily going to add anything. And so the two things were like, okay, he could have some pretty good standalone value, and also he's got the clear number 2. And Kenny McIntosh is an answer to one of those show questions. He had a hella good preseason. He had a 54-yard touchdown run in their third preseason game in his only carry. He was good all preseason, to the extent that if Walker goes down, I think he could mix in with Sharps a little bit, because I don't know that Sharps is actually a special talent. And then on the other side, they've just been talking nonstop about Ken Walker. They want to use him every single down. I think he's a superstar, and I'm really buying the Walker Kool-Aid. So, I mean, so then what? Does he have traits that I want to bet on? Because, like, if I don't feel like he's going to have the standalone potential, and I don't think he's got the clear RB2, it's like both sides of the bet got a little bit knocked in August. I'm a little bit skittish on him.
I love the Kenny McIntosh call. That's like exactly the type of player who could emerge from nowhere. Like he's this weird prospect who, is like a committee back at Georgia, but he had a career elusive rating of 108. So he broke tackles when he was out there, 2.11 yards per route run, unathletic, has a 4.01 RAS, but he's 210 pounds. So if he can get out there and catch passes, and then, it's kind of Kyron-y in a way, or, you're big enough to where, like, if you show surprising football athleticism based on the timed athleticism, then yeah, maybe you can displace Charbonnet, who was like not particularly explosive in his rookie season.
Yeah, I was like hopeful that if anything happened to Walker, Sharps would be like this 3-down back, because he's not like an explosive play guy either, right? Like Sharps' profile is not an efficiency profile. Haven't you compared him to Paul Perkins?
I think
compare a lot of people to Paul Perkins.
compare a lot of people to Paul Perkins. Let me see.
Put that in the bio.
Like, yeah, he's kind of a Paul Perkins type. I'm like, all right, I'm never drafting him again. It's like, but you don't even mean it like that.
Every bad running back that I hear Pat give a comp on is either Paul Perkins or DeAndre Washington.
I give a lot of DeAndre Washington, because DeAndre Washington to me is such like a type of like undersized. You think he's going to be like a pass catcher, but he's kind of not. It's like a tweener. It's a tweener position at running back. Let's see. His comps for me were actually J.K. Dobbins. This is Charbonnet. J.K. Dobbins, Cam Akers, Tank Bigsby.
Those are good.
With the guys over the last few years.
Man, you guys and these running backs, so many of them I don't remember at all. I think I could listen to 20 minutes on a loop of just Pat and Davis naming running backs, just like with no context at all. And, maybe 1 in 10 I could tell you anything about.
Michael Bush we got to the other day. That was fun.
Oh, that was a good one. I want to just shout out. So in the draft applet, no one can see this, but there's the chat function on FFPC, and there's Davis talking to himself at 8:19. He says, "Laugh my ass off, motherfucker. I saw Karain took May, and I thought a QB run started." and then look back after Davis takes 6, and there's not a quarterback for a whole other round.
Oh my god.
Now, because there's a little bit of a moment of silence, I'll just name every pick to service the audio listeners. We'll just go 1 through 187, so everybody
We've done that before.
Pete, you rattle them off so fast, but you get them in.
Sometimes the audio. I think that was kind of what birthed the service the audio listeners. It's like someone was like, "Can you say some of the picks?" And I was like, "All right, you're gonna smoke the whole damn pack of cigarettes."
In radio, it's always when you have silence, you run out of a thought, you just sort of name everybody else who's coming up on the show, who's been on the morning show, who's going to be on tomorrow's show. What else is going? Is there a contest coming up? Just sort of to get you to the finish line.
I don't think any of us can relate to that
pick right now, Pat, for you to take. So they're trying to figure out who
would Ben want most.
I think I got it's kind of a jumble for me right now.
This has Antonio Gibson written all over it. Yeah, you jinxed it, Gretch.
Obviously, that was the one though of the jumble that was at the top of the queue. I mean, obviously. That was the first pick, and then on the way back, I was gonna be like, "All right, which of Chubb or Gibson comes back?" I'm like, "I gotta get Vidal in the build." Pat is literally fucking drafting my team one pick ahead of me. It's great. By great, I mean it fucking blows. I guess I'll take Gibson. Oh my god!
What is better in fantasy content than Ben on Tilt?
Nothing.
That's just the best.
Oh my god.
Jacob, how's your draft going over there?
They're just starting. The first round is going to be pretty easy. I'm going to stay on till we get this turn done, and then I'm going to go and fight with Ron and Liam here for round 2. There you go.
We're almost done in 1 hour.
Yeah, we're fine. What have been is this the fastest draft?
Out at like round 12. This has been great.
You have professionals on a free roll. I mean, why waste time?
Hell yeah.
Quote professionals. I mean, experts.
All right, have you guys been streaming all of the drafts, Mike?
Yep. The last 2 Thursdays, and then the fourth one, the final one is tomorrow at Deep End FF1.
Nice.
I got the 108 last week, and Go Bills had the 108 the previous week, and I was really excited about theirs, and they told me they were excited about mine. So maybe that'll be the magic number, which doesn't help you guys.
All right.
All right. I think I'm gonna jump. We just selected Justin Jefferson over at the 1-8, but this was a blast. Nice. Thanks for having me on. And
thanks, Jacob.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Jacob.
Guys.
Peace.
Later.
Didn't get to talk Leafs with Jakob Sanderson tonight. Didn't get to talk Leafs. Was ready.
Equal opportunity sniper.
Jacob basically he allows you to do. I had Dortch in my queue.
That's good. That's good.
I'm buying that he's actually good.
Yeah.
I love the name stuff, like the lame, not lame, like the simpler the name, if that's fair, the more I feel like the guy's probably underrated. You guys have talked about this too.
Not a cool name. Yeah.
We had a hockey player in Buffalo. I'll keep this short. Rasmus Ristolainen. It's about as good as a name gets. Big, the good face. It's a Moneyball thing. They talk about the good face, the good name, but is it actually a good player? Are we really being honest with ourselves about the player? So you guys have said it. Greg Dortch doesn't sound like somebody who should be amazing at football, but that makes me want to bet on him.
Someone pointed out on Twitter that Tank Bigsby is such a sick running back name, but he was so bad last year that I have forgotten how cool of a running back name that is. Like,
it's not. It's no longer a cool name.
If it weren't for Dell, it would be a curse. But Tank Dell is kind of carrying that name on his tiny little shoulders.
He is.
Yeah, that is true.
But Bigsby is also a sweet running back last name.
Yeah, it is.
He kind of sounds like a speakeasy poet, Bigsby. And then Tank is like it is like a very juxtaposed name, the vibes of it.
A speakeasy poet.
If he was like really good at football, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
It would be awesome. Man, Bigsby again.
He's getting another shot. They're sticking with him.
Yes. And I think everybody agreed how bad he was, but the narrative was always about like 4 or 5 plays where the ball bounced off his hands for a pick 6 and just sort of like a couple of mental lapses. That doesn't have to define him.
Also, Dearness Johnson was NFL Next Gen released the data for like the guys with less than 100 attempts. And Dearness Johnson was horrible actually in their stuff. So I wondered, like, just because Bigsby was so bad, I was like, he was worse than Dearness. It turns out he wasn't actually. So
did you see who they signed today?
No.
Carson Steele. They picked up Carson Steele.
No,
not Steele.
No.
Steele made the team. You're talking about Luis Zamet.
Sorry. I'm mixing up my gadget.
Got cut?
No. Sorry, Luis Reese Zamit. Thank you, Gretch. Yeah.
Jacksonville did.
I scared all the Steele guys.
Jacksonville, the rugby player.
He's a kick returner, I think.
Where is Pirine in this draft? Oh, okay.
I was gonna Jacob pick him.
I still got it.
I was hoping to circle him back after Tracy. I almost took Chubb as well, but I put Pirine ahead of Tracy in my ranks, and then I was like, maybe I can get him to slide through, and then Jacob just
is he Jerick McKinnon?
I think it could be Jerick McKinnon plus.
Yeah, why not?
You want to fucking take?
Yeah.
I
think it could be. In the stuff like Best Ball Mania, I mean, I'm being pretty aggressive.
Mike, it is crazy. I remember that, like, the first year of this draft, like, just thinking about the ADP, I remember, like, when I selected Mike Davis, it felt like the most Hail Mary dumbass pick. Like, the barrel was empty. Whereas, like, in this draft, the running backs available here, Antonio Gibson, Vidal, Allen, Mason in the 16th round, like, there are really good running backs available late, which just shows the shift of ADP over the years in the running backs really moving down.
The format,
I'm in the late round. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the format is almost identical, but I'm trying to remember what the specific difference was. But yes, how the landscape changes, and that's correct. You have. This was a really interesting night with 5 running backs in the first 54 picks is like almost a first in fantasy football history. Maybe we're getting to that point where, though, we might still have some fun names here between, the middle of the 18th round and the end of 20. Aiden O'Connell goes to Jacob, Jatavion Sanders, tight end. There's still a couple of interesting tight ends, I think, that I haven't seen. But it should get fun here.
I was gonna say I tweeted this, but I've been in a bunch of slows that are in the late rounds right now. Pat, you said you've been getting aggressive on Piron, and I think I've drafted him probably 20 times today.
Wow!
Wow!
Like, where are you targeting him?
Well, it's like all 16th through 18th. I mean,
okay.
Maybe it's only 15 times that I've done it, but I'm in those ranges in all my drafts, and he's just sitting there, and I'm like, all right, well, I'll just. All my builds always need a running back there because I'm like, pretty receiver heavy early.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, I'm going to take a running back. I think the earliest I took him in the 15th once, but it's just like 16th or later. He's 2% owned. They're all BBM.
It's a no-brainer. Yeah.
I've liked him a lot in the last couple of weeks, ever since it was sort of a given that he would be cut. I mean, I know this has been Davis's thing the whole summer is Pirine gets cut. But when you had
Christ, I thought I was already up. I thought you took Mullins, and then Ojigastebe was in my fucking queue at the top, and he disappeared. And I was like, "Where did he go?" Like, if you go back and watch that, I snapped my head around, and then he popped up over fucking here on Pat's team.
I just noticed Davis took Taysom Hill too. I
completely missed that. This is my Rico Dowdle fuck off shit pick.
We got him.
That's the filthiest pick I've ever seen Gretch make.
That's just a full tilt pick.
And you're that pisses me off because I'm the one who took Rico in this one.
I pissed you both off. Dalvin's the answer.
Holy shit!
I can't believe you fucking took Estimate too. I didn't get a single Bronco back.
Oh, you got me finally.
You already
got
took
me.
McLaughlin. Give me Estimate.
Holy shit!
Anyway, I thought P. Ryan was going to Dallas or Baltimore if he got caught. Not even Cincinnati. Even that would have been, of course, that would have been good. So take him then.
The,
P. Ryan.
I honestly, this is where I'm at in my life as someone who has heavy Chase Brown bags. I would have taken P. Ryan to the Bengals just to watch Davis's like month-long tilt. Like that would have been a worthwhile trade-off for me.
In a way, isn't this the worst situation of all? Because now he has to consider whether or not to draft P. Ryan heavily. He was
Chiefs.
terrified of him, and now he might be a target.
I'm
It's
like,
a movie.
honest to God, after this, Pat, I'm gonna go back. Somebody said I'm just doing a bit. I'm gonna go back and watch that Estimate pick after because I promise you, when my eyes start back and forth, there was nothing but panic in my face. I want to go see the panic in my face. Oh my God.
You did get me back with Shipley there. I was hoping for him.
I honest to God, I thought you had picked, and I thought I was up, and I was like, what like how did Pat snipe me? He already picked.
Gainwell is a zero shares guy this summer, by the way. It seems. Never see Gainwell.
That's a good one.
He's still alive.
Nick Mullins is a good pick there. Actually,
you know who another guy is?
Darnold's going to get benched, and Nick Mullins is going to play a lot this year.
When Geno's your QB2 at a Superflex format, Nick Mullins starts to look pretty good from the other side of the draft board.
No, Geno's going.
Who, Pat?
He's going to have a good year.
And it's gross, but Trey Sermon.
Yeah.
Evan Hall. They moved on from Evan Hall. So
yeah,
Sermon, it looked like he was dead, but maybe he rises.
Yeah, another guy that was just not proven so much that he can't do it. I mean, it was bad when he did play, but we don't really know that much about a guy so young.
I have a grosser pick that I unironically, he's like one of the grossest names, and I unironically think is a good pick here if he gets back to me. I'm going to be a little bit bummed if he doesn't get back to me. Shouldn't
you just say it at this point?
No.
Okay.
God, no. Pat will take it.
I'll probably take him anyway.
Estimate was brutal there. My God.
Got to get that Broncos double up.
Ty Johnson never gets drafted.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. He might be the Bills number 2.
He was actually, after he said that, I was scrolling through my article trying to come up with some names because I so weirdly didn't give you any names at that moment. And he's one that I came across and was like, that's a good one for that question, for sure.
They did. I mean, they drafted Ray Davis, and that was it. They didn't do the thing they do with Latavius Murray, Damian Harris last year. They needed somebody as complement. Johnson did all right late in the season, maybe. I mean, running backs are just so random. Maybe. Well, it's the 20th round, fellas. It's been an honor. Do I sound like I'm on the Titanic playing the violin or something?
I feel like I'm on the Titanic trying to figure out what to do with this last pick.
I'm pretty sure I know Ben's pick, so I'm going to try to avoid taking it.
Here's what I'm doing. We're going to try to nail
pretty sure
whoever the Giants wide receiver 2 is by taking all 3 Giants wide receivers that aren't Malik neighbors.
I thought it was unfortunate they didn't keep Isaiah Hodgins with how light they are, but Hyatt and Wandale are kind of recent draft capital.
I feel like I could have won this if Pat wasn't drafted next to me. I had a really good draft here, but everything
your team was just my team.
If I could have gotten Jaleel or Vidal or Estimate, my running back room would look fucking great. It'd be
Pat, how many times have you heard that in the last 2 years? I feel like I could have won what you won. Well, thank you, boys.
Well, this is why we try to generally get in different rooms, but the scheduling didn't allow for it this year.
Next year, we'll put these all on, Sunday mornings.
We have 2 options. I'm kind of hoping you do take the gross option that I think I have to take, so I can take the more fun option.
Is Mullins in Minnesota?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
He's their new backup
Yes.
now, and I think it's a pretty, actually, like low-key positive thing for.
I'm shocked that Davis didn't take Brendan Rice.
Brendan Rice.
Oh.
So here are my two names. They play for the same team. Jamal Williams, who's the right pick, and Kendre Miller, who you
That
could,
Kendre Miller was the one I thought
one
you were
you thought
talking
it
about,
was.
and I was like, I'm not going to take Kendre Miller. You got to give
Jamal
Ben
Williams
Kendre Miller.
with Kendre. If Kendre Miller is actually like not
Right.
going to play a lot, and he's
Can,
on
can
IR
I throw a
for
name
weeks-
in? Can I throw a name in?
Do it.
Who?
Keaton Mitchell.
Well, I mean, I
He
kind of
got
know
some bad
loaded
news
production.
yesterday.
Yeah.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rookies and Dalvin Cook, who's never going to play, and so I need some front-loaded production.
What about
Okay.
Miles Sanders for front-loaded production?
I don't know if he actually plays a lot. I think Chuba.
What
I think
about
Jamal
Keaton
Williams
Mitchell
is
for
actually
actual
going
production?
to play. Like I think
I think Miles Sanders will outscore Jamal Williams first 4 weeks.
he might.
I do too, because I think Taysom's almost the backup running back there.
Yeah, maybe.
They love him. Dennis Allen doesn't like anybody, and he loves Taysom Hill.
Jamal
Yeah,
Williams
it's
looked
incredible.
half decent in the preseason. I'll say, like that's part of the reason I took him. It's really gross, but he looked half decent. And they don't have
Dawson
any.
Knox finishes the Deep End Invitational League number 3, pick 2012.
Mike,
Well,
you want
okay.
to do a quick
Read-
rundown of our 3 teams here, and then we'll get on our way.
I'd love to. Right from the list here, Ben goes Josh Allen, Geno Smith's going to live with 2. Blake Corum, Bucky Irving, Zach Charbonnet, Antonio Gibson, Tyrone Tracy, Dalvin Cook, Will Shipley, Jamal Williams. And I think, yes, that was the order. Jalen Waddle, DK Metcalf, T. Higgins, Keenan Allen, Hollywood Brown. Is he officially Hollywood Brown? I never see Marquise
Yeah.
Brown anymore.
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy, Curtis Samuel, Josh Downs, tight end, Trey McBride, Dalton Kincaid, Bam Bam, rounds 2 and 3.
then Pat
Those
was right
wide
next to him here.
receivers. You can talk about how shitty those running backs are, but those wide receivers are pretty good.
Has anybody ever brought up to you guys how bad your running backs are? Or probably not.
Probably
First
not.
time.
First time it's ever happened. It's happening.
Somebody
internally.
thinks I passed on Chuba in the last round. It wasn't Chuba, it was Miles Sanders.
I've got
Yes,
Pat here at the
Chuba was
top.
long gone. Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, Drake May, Baker Mayfield, Jalen Warren, Zamir White, Jaleel McLaughlin, Kamani Vidal, Audric Estime, going right at running back. You don't have to make that bigger for me. I got it. Puka Nakua, Malik Neighbors,
doing it for the
Stephon
everyone.
Diggs, Jaden Reed, Jameson Williams, Demario Douglas, Greg Dortch, Ricky Pearsall, Brendan Rice, a receiver for Pat, Travis Kelce, Dallas Goedert, Hunter Henry at tight end. Get it over with. Then finally, the first ever winner of this tournament, Pete Overzet. Brock Purdy, Aaron Rodgers, Bryce Young. Running back, Jonathan Taylor, Rashad White, Ramondre Stevenson, Tyjae Spears, Rico Dowdle. Wide receiver, let's go. Tyreek Hill, Garrett Wilson, Christian Kirk, Keon Coleman, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Tolbert, Malachi Corley, Jalen Hyatt, and I was doing so well. Jalen Hyatt, Darius Slayton, George Kittle, Cole Kmet, Jatavion Sanders at tight end. And that is that.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
for-
Thank you, Pete.
Yeah, no, this is a blast. I love that you guys keep this rolling every year. We do obviously a ton of tight end premium, a ton of underdog, but to get to mix in, an invitational with the Superflex is always a fun change of pace. So keep up the good work and let people know the Ship Chasers. You mentioned the Deep End podcast. Let them know where they can check out maybe the rest of these drafts and your guys' in-season content as well.
Thank you. At Deep End FF1 is where you can find our streams, including tomorrow's. Lots of big names in there. I'm also doing fantasy analysis every week for Purple Insider, Matthew Collar's excellent Vikings podcast. And I'm on the air every afternoon in Buffalo, including Bill's postgame at WGR Sports Radio 550.
Pete, before we go, I just have a request.
Yes.
Would you mind reading this comment in the Davis voice?
This Mike Schopp character is my new favorite person.
With the question mark.
First
My
name?
new favorite person?
No, Mike is great. If you guys are YouTube members on my channel, I did an interview with Mike earlier this offseason, and he tried to commandeer the podcast and interview me. So I tried to had to bully him into being interviewed. But we love Mike. part of the Buffalo Homer contingent. You know, you guys go strong between Leone and Gold Bills and you and Adam and all those guys. So we are going to be back tomorrow night. It is the infamous Crack Rock draft. A note that is 7 p.m. Eastern that we are going to kick that off. We're in the DMs with Crack right now, figuring out what we want to do. We're going to be drafting, I believe, is it from the 10 spot, guys?
I think it's from the 12.
12.
The 12.
Yeah.
The 12.
Fun.
So that will be tomorrow night. And then Tuesday, so we'll have the long Labor Day weekend. And then Tuesday, we're doing a 5K big big payback draft on FFPC with Leone. So another classic ship chasing annual
Now to
draft
Vegas.
tradition. And then off to Vegas.
And then on to Vegas. Yeah.
Have fun.
Appreciate
You're not
that.
going?
I'm not going this year.
Damn, Mike.
It was tough. I was hosting my show. I was working as soon as I would land and go to my room and just sit there for 3 or 4 hours. And I don't know, like I loved being there. I love so much about it. The bare knuckle's been at 6 out of 12 for like 2 months. And, you know, last year it was a little bit rowdy. So I was kind of turned off to it, but it's been fun to do that the last 3 years. I will miss it for sure.
Yeah.
So you're saying
we
it might not
will
even
miss
fall.
you.
I'm saying you guys should jump in.
That's a lot of kickers to memorize.
It is a lot of kickers.
Let's chase some fucking kickers, fellas. Maybe too much chasing of kickers. All right. Check out Stealing Signals, Legendary Upside, Deposit Kingdom YouTube channel. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Crack Rock draft.